Have you ever wondered if a simple coin in your pocket could tell the story of an entire era in American history? Well, today, we're diving deep into one such piece, the 1970 Washington quarter. At first glance, it may look like just another 25-cent coin, but this quarter holds historical significance, design beauty, and collector interest that makes it stand out in U.S. coinage history. Welcome back to our channel, where we uncover the fascinating stories behind the coins that shaped America. If you're passionate about coins or just curious about what treasures might be hiding in your change, make sure to stay tuned until the end. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, and it quickly became one of the most iconic coins in American history. The obverse, or front side, features a left-facing portrait of George Washington. Above his head are the words Liberty, and to the left, the motto, In God We Trust. Below his neck is the year of issue, which in this case is 1970. Now, if you look closely at the 1970 D quarter, you'll notice the small letter D just to the right of Washington's ponytail. This mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has been one of the major producers of U.S. coinage for well over a century, and in 1970, it struck hundreds of millions of these quarters for everyday circulation. On the reverse side, you'll find Flanagan's classic eagle design. The eagle is perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation, while olive branches beneath it represent America's desire for peace. Across the top, you see the words United States of America, with the motto, E pluribus unum, just below, and at the bottom, the denomination $quarter. This simple yet powerful design served the United States from 1932 until 1998, when the 50-state quarters program began. The 1970 quarter is composed of a copper-nickel clad which had replaced the 90% silver composition just a few years earlier. In 1965, the coin weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and features a redded edge. By the time the 1970 quarter was released, Americans had fully transitioned to using clad coins. Though many people still remembered the days when quarters were made of real silver, historically, 1970 was an important year in the United States. It was the first full year of the new decade, and the nation was undergoing major social and political changes. The Vietnam War was still ongoing. The environmental movement was gaining traction with the very first Earth Day being celebrated, and technology was rapidly advancing. Coins like the 1970 D quarter served as everyday reminders of American strength and tradition during these transformative years. Now, let's talk about mintage numbers. The Denver Mint struck over 417 million Washington quarters in 1970, making this coin quite common in circulation. Because of this high mintage, most 1970 D quarters you find in pocket change are worth only their face value of 25 cents. However, as with all coins, condition and rarity play a huge role in determining value. A circulated 1970 D quarter that's worn from years of use is generally only worth its face value. But if you come across a coin in uncirculated condition, with its original luster and sharp details, the value starts to climb. Mint state examples can be worth between $2 and $10 depending on grade, and coins in exceptionally high grades, such as MS-66 or MS-67, can fetch $100 to $500 at auction. There are also some special varieties and errors associated with the 1970 D quarter that collectors love. For instance, some coins show doubled die obverses or reverses, where parts of the lettering or design appear doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. These error coins can be worth much more than regular examples. One of the most famous stories tied to the 1970 quarter involves a rare minting error where a 1970 S-proof quarter was struck over a 1941 Canadian quarter. While this error was not from the Denver Mint, it brought a lot of attention to 1970 quarters in general and made collectors take a closer look at all coins from that year. So, how do you know if your 1970 D quarter is worth more than 25 cents? The key factors are condition, rarity of any error or variety, and whether the coin has been professionally graded. Coins with full original luster, no scratches, and no wear are always more desirable to collectors. If you believe you have a particularly nice example, you may want to send it to a grading service such as PCGS or NGC. Having your coin graded and encapsulated not only protects it but also increases its marketability to serious collectors. When it comes to selling a 1970 D quarter, you have several options. If your coin is a common circulated example, you can simply spend it as change, as its value is just 25 cents. But if you have a higher grade example or an error variety, you may want to sell it to a coin dealer, consign it to an auction, or list it on platforms like eBay where collectors are searching for specific coins. Dealers will typically offer a bit less since they need to make a profit, but auctions and online marketplaces can sometimes bring in strong prices if multiple collectors are competing for your coin. Collectors often enjoy adding the 19th quarter to their Washington quarter sets because it represents the continuation of the Clad series into the new decade. For younger collectors, it's also a fun coin to search for in circulation, since these quarters are still commonly found in pocket change even today. In the bigger picture, the 1970D Washington quarter serves as both a piece of everyday Americana and a collectible treasure depending on its condition. It reminds us of George Washington's enduring legacy, the artistry of John Flanagan's design, and the historical context of the early 1970s. Even though it may not be a rare or extremely valuable coin in most cases, it's a coin that tells a story, and that's what makes it so interesting to collectors and history enthusiasts alike. So the next time you're holding a handful of change, take a closer look at those quarters. You never know if one of them might be a piece of history from 1970, carrying with it the spirit of an era and a reminder of how far America has come. That's the story of the 1970D Washington quarter dollar, a coin that may be common in numbers, but rich in history, design, and collecting interest. If you enjoyed this deep dive into its story, don't forget to hit the like button. Share this video with fellow collectors, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating coin adventures. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.